Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video I made a list in no particular order about some supernatural things that happened to me, and I talked about some of them already and some of them I did not mention, so I thought I will make a video about these matters. But first of all, I would like to let you know that if you're wondering why I no longer make videos as often as I used to, it's because, as you may know, I started offering life assessment service from your natal chart, and there are options also for numerology and palmistry, and this became really popular. So these chart readings take up a lot of my time, and you may also know that I started dating, so evenings also are busy. That's why I started making fewer videos. And also I started offering a consultation and follow-up service, which is again a new service, because some people, they want me to give more detail in relation to certain areas of their lives after the natal chart assessment. So for example, they order basic natal chart assessment, but then they want me to elaborate on certain areas of their lives. So for them not to pay again for natal chart reading, I decided to provide a follow-up service, which is I will provide a link to it, which allows them to ask additional questions if they already ordered my natal chart service. And also I decided to offer consultation service, because I have no time to answer all the emails that I get. So if you want me to answer some particular question, for example, if you have some problem in your life and you think that I can help with that, I also now have decided to offer consultation service. So again, that's on the same page, and I will provide a link to it if you're interested for you to have a look. And now I will start describing the spiritual experiences that I had, supernatural experiences. So the most significant one, I think, happened when my Kundalini awakened, after it went through my crown chakra, because then I started seeing things that are supernatural in a normal state of consciousness. So some people, for example, they need drugs or something like this, or they should be in deep meditation for them to be able to tune into other realms. But after Kundalini awakening, I was living half in this world and half in other worlds, and that was very frightening. And in Carlos Castaneda books, if I'm not mistaken, this state is called a shift in assemblage point shift or something like this, it is called. And it says that either people become sages or they become crazy after experiencing this, because if you are mentally strong and you're not afraid of spiritual phenomena, you will survive that state. If you're not mentally strong, you will not survive that state. So either people become crazy or they become spiritual teachers after this experience. So basically you're living in two worlds, in this world and in other realms. And it's extremely disorienting, because we're used to living in this physical reality. But if you live half of your time, or how to say, like your perception is split, you are aware of this world and of other realities, and it's so disorienting, and it requires all your mental powers to persevere, and nobody can tell how long you will have to stay in that state. Like it can stay for a month. You may live in that state for a month, but it could be that it's prolonged to a year or years. So that was something that was, I think, the greatest supernatural experience in my life. And before Kundalini awakening, I experienced a really interesting manifestation. That was again when I was in India, in a pilgrimage place of India. which is the most southern tip of India, and that place is called Kanyakumari. It's a sacred place, and many pilgrims go there on a daily basis. And what happened to me is that I checked into the hotel and I was meditating on a bed, and then one Swami is like a saintly person, manifested on my bed in the state of meditation, and then he opened his eyes from meditation, and I was totally unprepared to see him. I was meditating, and then I opened my eyes and he was there in a state of meditation, and then he opened his eyes and he was just looking at me, and I didn't know what to do. And the first thought was really silly one, because in India you have to be very aware of your belongings, because people, in some places people can steal it and so forth. And my first silly thought was, maybe he wants something from me, like my money or something like this. That was a really bad thought. And after this thought, he again closed his eyes, got into a state of meditation, and then dematerialized. He was there in a person. He definitely materialized on my bed. It wasn't some kind of an apparition. It was a real person. So I believe that it's possible to reach this state where you can transport yourself through meditation. I do believe that it's possible to relax in such a way, to such a degree, that your vibration changes and you can dematerialize. So that was an extraordinary experience that I had. And another, a little similar one, was when again I was in India, in Rishikesh, which is North India, and it's again a spiritual place. It's near Himalayan mountains. And there I met a Swami, again a spiritual person, and he actually was the first one to initiate a conversation, because he said that I have a big bright aura, and that's how he started conversation. He just looked around me and said, you have a huge bright aura. And that I made friends with that person, and then I realized that he has spiritual powers, because he was able to change his appearance in front of my eyes, and that was something so supernatural that it looked like from some kind of a sci-fi movie. And he also was a sun gazer, and I released a book, Sun Behind the Sun, which talks in great detail about sun gazing. So he said that his guru told that once you see some spiritual activity in the sun, you know that you have achieved the highest level of spiritual attainment. I did not really believe in that, but that was interesting, because he said that he sun gazed so long that he started seeing spiritual beings in the sun. And in ancient cultures it is talked that in the sun there are spiritual beings. For example, how do these people are called? Mendians, they believe that, for example. So that was again a very interesting experience that I had with that person. And there were many supernatural experiences that happened when I was in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend, which you might know was a psychopath. And I got so many visions warning me about him. I saw him as a kind of demonic being, but my attraction to him was so strong that I ignored stupidly all those visions. And then I saw one time him with another woman, and they were in another house looking at me through the window, and I saw that lady so clearly. And then I met her face to face, and she was actually the one he was in a relationship with. So that was very interesting. And another experience that happened was that, again, it was in India, and my best friend from UK called, and he was really scared because he saw a dream about me falling off a cliff, and he said, please don't be anywhere near some place which has a cliff, because I have dreams about you often, but this was definitely a warning dream. And he was so scared, and he isn't the one that believes in such spiritual things. So that really made me I believed in him that this is a warning dream. So, and I was actually staying in a place which had a cliff. So that the day when he called, or the next day, I don't exactly remember. I think the next day maybe. I was on the cliff, and then two people started fighting very close to me near the cliff, and I straight away remembered his dream, and I made sure that I was very far from the cliff. I went back away from the cliff, and then one person actually fell off a cliff. So that was again an amazing experience. And another smaller experience which illustrates how the universe works, and I already wrote about it, was when I was purchasing a ticket to go to India this time, and I wasn't sure if it was the right time to purchase it because it was on the hour of Saturn, but I purchased it nevertheless. But I had doubts whether this is the right moment to purchase the ticket, and straight the moment after the purchase of the ticket, I get a message from my mom, and she said, I had the best journey of my life, I had the best trip of my life. So this was a great confirmation that my trip is going to be good, that I don't have to worry about it. So then I stopped having any doubts about the purchase. And another one, also a small thing, but it was a nice one that happened just a few days ago, was me and my boyfriend were walking at night. It's a place that has the beach, and we did not know how to go down the beach because there were some stairs, but then they finished and then just rocks started, and we did not know how to go down to the beach. And then we were searching for the way, and we wanted to take one way, but then the dog appeared out of nowhere at night, and he walked down a particular way, and that was the right way to go to the beach. So just at the right moment, the dog appeared to show us the way to the beach, which was really nice. And another incident that was again related to my current boyfriend, is that we planned a motorbike trip, a long motorbike trip to faraway city, and we were really looking forward to that trip. And then on the day or the day after, maybe one day before our trip, I received a call from my mom, and she is not happy. She's a little disturbed, and I asked what happened, and she said, I got a warning dream about you. And I said, what kind of dream was it? And she did not want to tell me because it was a horrible dream. And I said, please tell me. And then she said that she saw me, my internal organs and blood spilled on the ground, and that I was dead. And I said, Mom, the next day we were planning to go on a motorcycle trip. And she said, do not go. So this was a definite warning. And usually when I'm planning such trips, I do a tarot card reading, but that time I forgot to do the reading. And thus this warning dream from my mom. And then after this dream, I did a tarot card reading to clarify what's wrong. And I used Egyptian tarot cards, just to let you know, not the usual ones that are a little bit more modernized. I used the Egyptian tarot cards, and I will leave a link with more information about it. So I did a tarot card reading, and then I asked, can we go to that city by other means of transport? And the answer was yes. And I asked, can we use any private transport? And it shows that death. I took out the card of death, so death would result if we would use any kind of private transport. So we ended up going to that city, but only used public transport, and the trip was successful. So that shows that these forces, if you work with them, like I work with them through the means of astrology, they really take care of you. They really try to keep you safe. And the last interesting, quite supernatural event that happened in my life was again in India, in Rishikesh, when I was with a friend there, and I don't know how to swim well because I drowned that time once, almost drowned once in my life. And then my friend persuaded me to do river rafting, and I unfortunately agreed. And before that, we were joking about going to swim in the river Ganga. How is it in English? River Ganga, Ganges, I think it's called. So I said that that water is too dirty, so I'm not going to go into that water, because it's according to Hindu tradition, if you fully immerse yourself into the river Ganga, your all sins are forgiven and you're like born again. And I said that no, I'm not going to do that because that water is dirty. So kind of I insulted the goddess Ganga, because she's called the goddess, like a conscious river. And when I did river rafting, actually our boat went upside down and I was under the boat. I found myself under the boat and I thought that I would drown. But somehow the current took me from underneath the boat up. And then the river rafting instructor managed to get himself on top of the upside down boat, and I was the first one that he took out of water. And I had to stay in that water for a long time, and the current would keep coming at me and I couldn't even breathe. So I thought I would drown, but thank God I was saved. And so the river Ganga made sure that I immersed myself into that water. And actually after that event, when I recovered, I felt like born again. I felt so happy, elated, so light. And also I had the smell of incense inside me. Like I would feel incense for a long time, and my body smelled like incense, which was very interesting. So these are all the events that I wanted to share with you, supernatural events. And if you have any supernatural events to share from your life, I would love to read them. So you can leave a comment below this video. Thank you for watching. Take care.